Hello. Okay, so welcome to the first official Inkstrings devlog, I suppose. Um, I'm not sure if this is the format they're always going to take. Me essentially just speaking at you while I show something about how the game works. I need to figure out a good system for devlogs going forward and try and do regular uploads. Maybe even live streaming me working on the game or thinking about things that I've worked on that people might find interesting and doing proper sort of edited videos on them. But for now, I just thought I'd jump on and answer this particular question about how part of the game works because someone in our Discord server asked about it. So the question was essentially about what it is that causes this to pop up. So there's a hint or a sort of instruction, I suppose, that can pop up sometimes telling you that you can click or hold the right mouse button to undo moves. And yeah, fun fact, that's not something that people seem to realise. Not many people who played seem to realise, at least. So maybe I need to make this clearer. But holding down does do something different. If you hold the mouse button, and it will automatically undo everything like that. At least until you let go. You can stop it halfway through, so... Well, that was a terrible example of me stopping it halfway through. Try that again. Yeah, there you go. Or you can undo individual moves by clicking. So why does that text show up? So it is detecting whether you're stuck or not, by which I mean there's no nodes that you could connect to. So it's not doing anything too fancy in terms of if the final node, so basically if you could connect to a node, but that would, be the final node, one of these start or end nodes, and that would mean that you'd skipped one, it won't prompt you to undo in that scenario, even though the only move you have is obviously fake, or a false move, the wrong move, I should say. But what it is doing, and now I've turned debug mode on, you can see whenever you connect to a node, it's shooting lines out, or rather it's spawning a sprite that stretches, so the origin of the sprite is on the node you're on, and then its length and angle are determined by every other node, so it's basically reaching out to every other node on the screen. If it gets to that node, if it stretches to that node and there's no overlap with anything that would block your drawing, so for instance the sharpener blocks you drawing, the button blocks you, pencils, there's various things in the game that you can't draw through, then it will register that overlap and show that that's an invalid, an impossible place for the player to draw to. And every time you connect, it updates these lines. So if I get myself to a position, say, no, let's go there. Oh, and it updates every time you undo as well, as you see. Yeah. So if I put myself in a position, say, could have done this better. Let's go like that. So now the only two possible moves are to one of the start or end nodes here, which we can't reach, because the button's in the way, or to this one down here, the pencil's in the way. So the only thing that we can do is undo, and that's when the prompt shows up. Yeah, as I've shown, these checker lines, as I'm calling them in the code, they shoot out whenever you make a new move, or they update rather their positions whenever you make a new move, also whenever you undo. And there is a third scenario when they'll update as well. If you're in a puzzle where there's gears that move around, sometimes there's nodes on the gears, so you might connect to a node, but then by the time you're allowed to start drawing again, once the gear animation is played, your node is now in a different spot, so you might not have been stuck, but now you are. Or there might be obstacles on gears where you wouldn't have been stuck, but now that obstacle has moved into your way. So I'll show you that quickly. I'm sure you can imagine without need for a visual representation, but I'll cut to that now. Hey, so here we are on a gear puzzle so that I can show you what I was just referring to. It does look a bit unusual because whenever you boot into a puzzle directly from the game engine, it defaults to the cherry aesthetic. Usually the gear puzzles, they're in their own biome, there will be in the final game, with their whole own look to them. But for now, you're getting a look at them in the cherry biome. So yeah, if I start drawing, and I'll turn debug mode on again. Ah, there we go. So you see the checker lines here, so it's saying I can connect to that node, that node. These are two separate checker lines, by the way, one stretching to each node. Can't get to any of these nodes though. If I move again, you see it waits until the gears have finished moving before it updates these checker lines, because that's what really matters. Once I do a move, these gears now have moved the obstacles into different positions. And there we go. So now I've only got one possible move. Two possible moves here. I can come to this node or this node, but I can't come to that one. And if I was to go to this one and then this one, now it registers that the only possible move gets me stuck and the hint text comes up. And if I undo, get a little animation of the gears spinning backwards there as well. And then it'll update again. I think this is a bit of a visual glitch because it's assuming I'm still on this node even though I've completely reset the puzzle, but it doesn't affect anything. Yeah, and that's how that all works. So yeah, for future devlogs, I'll come up with ideas of things that I think people might find interesting to look at. Like I say, it might involve me live streaming some development, although development on the game is very patchy and here and there at the moment. I'm having to spend a lot of time on business development stuff for the project. But whenever I do sit down and add things, or maybe even if I'm just designing a puzzle, I suppose I could talk through what goes into that if people would find that interesting. Because I do that every now and then as a nice break from all the more boring and long and you know, all of the tougher aspects of trying to get your own game released and funded and whatnot. Sometimes I like to sit down and just throw up an empty canvas here and come up with a new puzzle every now and then, which I find quite relaxing, and maybe you'll find it interesting to watch me do that. But yeah, please, any suggestions that you have of things that I could do developer logs on, let me know. I'd be happy to show off pretty much any aspect of the game and how I've made everything work. So yeah, thank you for watching this one. Hope you've enjoyed it, found it somewhat useful. It's not the most exciting thing I've ever showed off. Well, it is, because this is the first devlog, but it's not the most exciting thing I could have showed off. But since someone asked, I thought I'd show this. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, this also comes up if you just don't move the mouse for a prolonged period of time. It's for the live demos, just so that the station resets whether I do anything or not. And that's just on a timer. There you go, that was quite a nice ending to the video. Okay, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.